Well, hi, this is Josh Nelson with Contractor SEO, and I want to thank you for taking the time to engage with me on this training program where I'm going to be talking through your internet marketing plan for your contracting or home services business. And really, it's all about how to help you increase your sales and grow your business by more effectively marketing online. And so really, I want to ask, have you ever wondered what it would be like to have a dominant presence that position you as the top home services business in your area? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have a flood of prospects calling into your business on a consistent basis that found you online? And have you ever wondered what it would be like to know that you had a strategy that worked? So you didn't have to constantly be wondering, could I be doing something more? Should I be more engaged in the internet? What can I be doing in regards to social media? Well, that's exactly what I want to cover with you throughout the course of this presentation. You're about to discover a blueprint covering the most important online marketing mediums that you should be tapping into for your home services business. I'm going to talk exactly how to get ranked on page 1 for the most important keywords in your area, a proven strategy for getting your company ranked on the Google map in your city where you have a physical location by establishing your NAP, doing citation development, and putting a system in place for getting reviews from your real customers in your real service area. I'm going to talk through a step-by-step strategy for getting more repeat and referral business by leveraging social media, and of course how you can significantly increase your sales, potentially double your calls via the internet. So who am I and why should you listen? Well, I'm the author, The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Plumbing Contractors, as well as Internet Marketing for Plumbing for Contractors and Home Services Business. I'm an associate member of PHCC, QSC, ACCA. I've spoken at a number of the contracting and home service events, both at a local and national level. My articles have been published on internet marketing in Contractor Magazine, HVAC Insider, Plumbing and Mechanical, and I'm widely accepted as the preeminent expert in internet marketing for contractors and home service businesses. But I'd say even more importantly, I've had the opportunity to work with home service business owners just like yourself in some of the most competitive markets all throughout the United States and been able to help them get top placement in the search engines, grow their sales, and really go from a place of obscurity online to the point where they're now the dominant player in their area. And I'm able to take my knowledge, my expertise, my experience implementing these strategies and share that with you right now on how you can really tap into the internet and be getting more business for your home services company. And so let's look at the online marketing channels that are available to you. Because when we talk about internet marketing, there's really so many different things that you could be doing online. And I want to take all of the fragmented options that are available to you, kind of boil it down into just a handful of really important tactics that you can and should be implementing for your home services business. And of course, there's search engine optimization, which was what we all think of when we think, okay, internet marketing, we think about the search engines. And that's search engine optimization, map optimization, pay-per-click advertising. And I'm going to be explaining what each one of those are throughout the course of this video. But just understand, when you look at search engines, that's just a small piece of the overall puzzle, and there's a lot of little pieces within search engines. There's the paid listings, right, where you can set up an AdWords campaign or a Microsoft search campaign. There's the map listings and search engine optimization, getting ranked in the unpaid listings on the search engines. From there, you've also got social media, right? Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, and the various tools from social media that you can leverage to engage with your customers. There are online directory sites like Home Advisor, Service Magic, Contractors Online. There's all kinds of services that you can pay on a per lead basis to get leads from pre-qualified customers in your area that are in the market for your services. And then there are other paid online directories like Yelp, Angie's List, City Search. There are a number of different sites that you can be engaged in to really maximize your footprint across the web. Now, when I like to explain what your internet marketing strategy should be and what you should be doing and how you should roll out your plan, I really like to pull up a pyramid that starts with the base and then moves upward. And so what you'll see on the screen now is a pyramid that starts with organic, moves to social media, paid directories, and then pay-per-click. I really feel like the foundation of your overall internet marketing plan should be organically based. Organic, again, being in the non-paid listings. So you're not actually paying for advertising, but you're setting yourself up as the predominant player in your market. And so the base should be setting up your website, making sure that the content on your website is built to convert, making sure that you've got pages and correct on-page optimization from an SEO perspective to show up in the map and non-paid listings. Then as you move up the pyramid to the next section, you've got social media and email marketing. I think as you've got your foundation very strong, you've got your website right, you're ranking well in the organic listings, you should also look to implement social media and email marketing. Again, non-paid elements that can drive a lot of revenue or a lot of opportunity for your business. Moving up from there, then you should start to look at potentially some of the pay-per-click advertising strategies. So that's an AdWords campaign, it's a Bing Microsoft search campaign, picking your keywords, and at this point you're starting to pay on a per-click basis. But again, the foundation should be the organic side of the equation, making sure that you're showing up in the non-paid listings. And I'll talk a little bit about why I feel like that should be the foundation and you should start there, because the reality is the majority of consumers, when they're looking for your services and they find you in the search engines, the majority of them are going to click in the organic non-paid listings. So I know from experience and working with hundreds of contractors throughout the United States that the best return on investment and the best traction comes from ranking well in the organic non-paid listings. So you want to start there, make sure that you're covering your bases, leveraging social media and email marketing, then start looking at your paid advertising plays, like pay-per-click advertising, paid directory services like Yelp and City Search and Angie's List, and then paid pay-per-lead type services. A lot of the contractors I talk with have that pyramid inverted, and so they're heavily invested in pay-per-click advertising, heavily invested in pay-per-lead services, and they basically have no social media plan, no email marketing plan, and aren't ranking well organically, don't have their website set up. And that's kind of a recipe for failure. So make sure you've got the pyramid set correctly so you're building on a strong foundation. So what's your marketing plan as a contractor? What's your blueprint? What should you be doing? And there's a lot of different options. We've talked about the different marketing channels. Here's what I really think you should be doing right now to really maximize the online marketing potential for your home services business. First, I think you need to make sure you've updated your website for SEO and conversion. So update for SEO and conversion, what does that mean? Well, you want to make sure that you've optimized your website, you've got the right keywords, you're optimizing for specific search phrases that are relevant to your business, and then you want to do the link building, the authority development, the blogging, which is going to make sure that that site ranks well organically. In addition to that, you need to look at the conversion element of your site. It's one thing to say, okay, I've got a great website, I rank on page 1, but if that site isn't compelling and it's not driving your potential customers to call you, then it's a failed proposition. And you're going to wind up feeling like you're wasting time and you're wasting energy. So you want to make sure you look at the conversion elements of your website, make sure that you've got strong call to actions that are causing those visitors that are going to get to your website to call you and to choose your company. From there, I really feel like you have to have a mobile strategy in place. More and more consumers are accessing the internet from their mobile devices, their iPhones, their Android phones, their iPads, and you want to make sure that your website is built in a way that's conducive for those visitors. So when they get to your site, they're seeing something that fits in the size of their screen and it displays correctly. So make sure that you've got some type of mobile strategy in place because more and more consumers are accessing the internet from their mobile devices. From there, I think you need to get active in search engine optimization, the ongoing process of building authority through link building and content creation. must have a strategy to get that authority so that you can rank better in the organic, non-paid listings for the various keywords that are important for your business. You have to optimize your website and your online marketing strategy for Google Maps. The reality is the majority of the population, when they need your contracting and home services related services, they're looking at the Google Map listings. And so how do you get ranked in the Google Map? Well, you have to make sure that you've claimed and optimized your Google Map listing at Google Places and Google Plus Local. You have to figure out what your true name, address, and phone number is, and you have to have citations, references of your company's name, address, and phone number clearly referenced across the web. And you have to put a review strategy in place so you're getting real reviews from your real customers in your true service area back to your company online on the various online directory sites. And when you've got those three elements working in your behalf, and you've got the reviews, you've got the citations, you've got the properly optimized listing, that's how you can start to see yourself ranking in the Google Map listings, and that's critical to your overall internet marketing plan. From there, I really feel like you should be active in social media. And there's a lot of different social media platforms you can be involved in. You definitely want to have the following 4 profiles set up: Facebook, a business page for your company; Twitter, Google Plus, LinkedIn, and a YouTube channel. And you want to have one of these profiles for each one of your entities. Or you have a profile for your company on each one of these different sites, and be posting to it on a consistent basis, getting your real customers to like, subscribe, and engage with you in these places. And that's a very powerful way to get more repeat and referral business. Have to be leveraging email marketing. Email is probably the lowest cost mechanism for communication with your customers and with your prospects. And so if you don't have an email marketing system set up where you're sending out periodic messages to not only your prospects but really to your core customer base, you're missing a major opportunity, and it should definitely be in your internet marketing plan. And I feel like once you've got those fundamentals, those first 6 steps really nice and tight, your website set up, your conversion elements are in place so the website speaks to a consumer in a way that makes them want to contact you, you've got a mobile version of your website, you've got an active strategy in place for building authority so you can rank better in the search engines for your most important keywords. You've optimized yourself for the Google Map. You've got lots of citations referencing your company. You've got a review system in place with lots of reviews, and you're ranking well in the Google Map listings. You're leveraging social media and email marketing. You've got that foundation nice and strong. Then you should start to look at paid online marketing opportunities. And so those paid online marketing opportunities are pay-per-click advertising, setting up an AdWords campaign, and strategically selecting the keywords that you want to rank for, managing that campaign appropriately for the maximum return on investment so you can improve your quality score, have a lower cost per click, and better positioning in the search engines. Paid online directories, and there's some very good paid online directories that you can look at. So, there are sites like Angie's List and Yelp.com and CitySearch that a lot of eyeballs go to, and a lot of eyeballs go to when they're in the need of your services. You can have a free listing there, and that's fine. It adds value from a citation development perspective. But there's also a paid component to those where you can pay whatever amount it is on a monthly basis to have premium placement for your keywords. And I'm going to recommend, as you get your foundation strong, maybe look at an Angie's List listing or a Yelp listing. Angie's List being at the top, and then maybe Yelp, and then YP.com and CitySearch. When you've got all of those angles covered, now you're starting to show up more and more as people are looking for what you do. And then there are pay-per-lead services like Home Advisor and Service Magic. I think they're one and the same, where you can pay on a per-lead basis for people that are in the market for your services. So if somebody went to Home Advisor and typed in that they're looking for a bid for re-roofing their house, and you're a roofing contractor, you can pay specifically for that lead. So you're paying for a pre-qualified lead. Now, there's a lot of hiccups and a lot of issues with pay-per-lead service. They're not the most qualified. You really have to have an aggressive strategy, but it can be a good source of leads and could potentially be part of your overall internet marketing plan. And the last thing you want to make sure you have in your plan is tracking mechanisms. You want to make sure that you can gauge your progress and you can gauge your true return on investment. And there's a lot of different things you can do from tracking perspective. Definitely want to have Google Analytics in place so you can see how many visitors are getting to your website, what they typed in to get there, how long they stayed. You definitely want to put keyword tracking tools in place. And there are lots of great tools out there that will let you set up your keywords, your city plus service, your city plus service 2, your city plus service 3, and it will send you a report telling you exactly where you rank on Google and Yahoo and Bing for those keywords. So that as your SEO strategy is in play and as your Google Maps optimization strategy is in play, you can see how you're moving up in the search engines for those keywords. And then the third tracking mechanism I really recommend when done properly is call tracking. So putting a phone number, just a phone tracking number that rings to your office in the graphics on your website so that you're not messing up your name, address, and phone number profile. You're not putting your tracking number on your Google Map listing or your Angie's List listing, because that will mess up your NAP, which will hurt your probability of ranking in the map. But just putting that number in the graphic on your website, the call now at this number graphic, now you have some gauge of how many calls are coming in via the web. You can hear conversations recorded and be able to truly quantify for all of the things that you're doing to market your company online, how many actual leads are coming in, how many of those leads are converting to sales, and have a true gauge, a true measure of your return on investment. And so that's really what I think your plan as a contractor or home service business should be comprised of. So as you start to look at implementing this and really getting off the ground, the first thing you want to make sure you do is that you understand the search engines and how the search engines work. And so I've pulled up a search result page on Google, and there are really three core components to the search engines. There's the paid listings, the organic listings, and the map listings. And so if you look at number one, which is up on the screen, you'll see pay-per-click advertising. I've used the acronym PPC. And that section that's highlighted is a paid area. You're able to set up an AdWords account and pick your keywords, and you pay on a per-click basis. And there's a lot of variables that go into pay-per-click advertising, but ultimately, the guy that said, I'll pay $5 per click when you were only willing to pay $2 per click, that $5 per click bid puts him in a more prominent position in the search engines. And so if there's the number one spot might be 5, the number 2 spot might be 4, the number 3 spot might be 3, and these are, generalizations. There's a lot more that goes into it, but ultimately, he who has the higher bid gets the top position, and you pay on a per click basis. And you can set up a budget of whatever you want, $1,000, $7,000, $15,000, and pay only for those people that clicked on your ad in the area that you specified. And that's pay-per-click advertising. From there, you have what's called the map listings. It usually shows up directly beneath the pay-per-click ads. Sometimes it's mixed in, but typically it's right beneath the pay-per-click ads. And that's I've got highlighted as number 2, and those are the map listings. And I want you to understand and be really clear that there's no way to pay for ranking in the Google Map listings. The only way you get ranked in the Google Map listings is if Google perceives you to be the authority player or one of the authority players in your market for what you do. And that comes down to a couple different factors, which I'm going to go into more detail as we go on this video. But it's really about having a claimed and optimized Google Map listing at Google Places and Google Plus Local, having consistent references of your company's name, address, and phone number across the web, and having real reviews from your real customers in your true service area. And so if you have those three working in your behalf and you've got a proactive strategy for doing that, you can start to rank really well in the Google Map because you'll be the legitimate authority in your area. Google will feel confident ranking you on page 1 for those keywords. Now, of course, the other area that shows up below that is what's called the organic listings. And the organic listings is really based on the website that you have, the content that's on that website, and the amount of links that you have pointing to your website from other authority sources or other websites on the internet. Now, the key that I really want you to take away from this is that the map and the organic listings are unpaid. You don't have to pay every time somebody clicks you. You can't pay a monthly fee to have a top position. You have to earn those positions by being relevant and by being the authority in your area for those keywords in Google's eyes. So the question that typically gets spawned from this conversation is, okay, well, if I can pay to show up in the pay-per-click listings, why would I spend the time and the energy and the effort to build my authority to rank in the organic section? And I guess what you want to make sure you understand is that the majority of the population, when they're looking for your home services, whether it's roofing or landscaping or plumbing or whatever it is, when they search for these keywords, they're typically typing in their city and your service. And their eyeballs tend to go straight to the organic, non-paid listings, as was represented over here, number 2 and number 3. The reasoning behind that, some people realize it's paid listings, whether it's subliminal or because they're just educated on the matter, but studies have been conducted that show conclusively more than 70% of the population, when they search, go straight to the organic listings. So you definitely want to have a strategy that enables you to rank as often as possible on the search engines when people are looking for your services. But if you're dealing with a limited budget and you're trying to figure out where you should start, going back to the pyramid, you want to make sure that the base of your pyramid is strong. And that's by having a properly optimized website with a strategic SEO plan, a strategic Google Maps optimization plan, so that you can rank in the area where the majority of the population goes when they're looking for your services. So I talked about the first thing you want to do is to optimize your website and set up your website not just for SEO, but for conversion. And so building your website needs to start with the understanding that every one of the pages on your website can really only rank for between 1 and 2 keyword combinations. So you just think about your company, you think about the different services that you offer, and the different permutations of keywords somebody might type in when they're looking for what you do. You'll come to the inevitable conclusion that you probably need to have additional pages on your website. Typical home service website that we see has between 3 and 5 pages. Home, about us, our services, coupons, contact us. And that is a miss, because you want to make sure you have pages for each one of your services, so a different page for all of the different things that you do, and pages for the sub-cities that you serve. I know for a fact the majority of home service businesses serve anywhere between a 25 and 50 mile radius. And some of you might go further than that, some of you might go less than that, but in that 25 to 50 mile radius, there's a lot of little cities. There might be one main city, but there's little cities in and around that market. And your customers, when they're looking for your services, are going to Google and they're typing in those sub-cities plus your services. So you want to make sure that you have a page on your website for each one of the sub-cities that you operate in, but you need to do it strategically and you need to have a plan for how to do that. So, when you look again at the typical home service website, it's home, about us, our services, coupons, contact us. What I'm suggesting is have a page for each one of your services. So if you were a plumber, you'd want to have an emergency plumbing page, a leak detection page, a toilet repair page, water heater installation page, tankless water heater page, hydrojetting page. You get the idea. Pages for each one of your services. Now, you'd also want to have pages for each one of the sub-cities that you operate in. So not just your main city, like for instance in Miami, you wouldn't want to just have a page that says, hey, we serve Miami. You want to say that you serve in that 25 to 50 mile radius, you serve Kendall, and you serve Palmetto Bay, and you serve Aventura, and you serve Doral. And I think you get the idea. but you want to make sure that you have pages for each one of your services and each one of the sub-cities that you operate in. That way you can have indexation for all of the different things that you do. And indexation just means you're going to show up on Google somewhere because Google recognizes that you have a page for that specific service and that specific city. Now I'm going to talk more about how to build the authority and get those pages to rank on page 1 instead of page 17, but you get the idea. Make sure you build pages for each one of the services that you provide. So from there, you want to make sure that you think about the conversion elements on your website. What you can do to get your customers or prospects that get to your site to take action, to take that next step beyond just seeing a site, but actually picking up the phone and calling you. And from where I sit, I feel like it all starts with a logical navigation structure. People come to your website expecting for things to be in certain places. They want to know that they can get to a home, about us, services, reviews section on your site. They can find your phone number. They can hit contact us to get your contact information. So be sure you start with a base that covers home, about us, our services, ideally with a drop down that lists each one of the different services. A service area page so you can make sure that you reference each one of those cities that you operate in. Online specials, reviews, and or testimonials, and contact us. And those are the core things. Of course, you want to have a blog section as well that you want to make sure that you have built into the navigation of your website. And this is just a visual representation of how you might break this down, having each one of those core areas in the navigation of your website. From there, some of the elements that you want to have for conversion, the things that are going to make people want to call you as opposed to clicking the back button and calling your competitor, is make it easy for them to contact you. Put your number in the top right-hand corner of the website somewhere. We found that the eyeballs naturally start to drift towards the top right-hand corner. So have something that says, hey, need our services? Call this number, somewhere on every page of your website in the header. It's great to have a request information form on your website so that someone can just type in their name, their phone number, and a brief description of what their situation is without having to search around. I find that it's a great strategy to have that form somewhere on every page of your website so they don't have to hit contact us and then fill out the form there. No matter what page they're on, they can quickly find the information they're looking for and type in their information. Have links to your social media profiles. So I'm going to talk a lot about social media and how you can leverage social media to connect with your customers on a deeper level to get more repeat and referral business. But having those social media icons is just a credibility builder. It makes people feel, okay, this is a legitimate organization that's actively involved in the social sphere. They can click that Facebook icon and get to a page that has pictures of your company and has real people engaging. Very powerful to have those social media icons somewhere accessible on your homepage. Have your name, address, and phone number in the footer of your website on every single page. Again, make it easy for people to find your contact information. This also has an impact from a Google Map optimization perspective, where I'm going to talk about having consistency of your name, address, and phone number, and how that's one of the critical 3 elements in getting ranked on the Google Map. Well, having that name, address, and phone number in the footer, that area on the bottom of your site, on every single page, is a must. I like to say conversion on your site is going to be driven a lot by personality. And so the more you can infuse real pictures of the owner, of the staff members, of yourself, of your van, of your before and after projects, the more you can get those real pictures as opposed to stock photography bolted into your website, the better it converts. And we've done tests on this where we built beautiful website. One of them was just a generic website that had stock photography, and then another version of the site that had the real people behind that company, so the owner, the staff. And we found that the conversion, in terms of people picking up the phone and calling that company, was more than double on the website that had that real personality. So don't be shy. get yourself on the website. People are going to be buying from you one way or the other. So put yourself out there and let them know who they're going to be dealing with. It will significantly improve your conversion. One thing I see missed a lot of the time is having a strong call to action on each block of text in your website. So if you follow my SEO strategy and you have pages for each one of your services, and you've got a description of those services on that site with great content, be sure to have a call to action. Call now for immediate service, or click here to take advantage of our internet specials. Give them some reason to take that next step and drive them down the path, as opposed to just assuming that they're going to realize that they should pick up the phone and call you. So have a strong call to action. If you're open to it, have some coupons and special offers somewhere on your website so that you can drive people that are thinking about your services to a page where they can, get a coupon, save some money, and do business with you, as opposed to continuing their research process and calling one of your competitors. Have a mobile optimized version of your website. More and more consumers are accessing the internet from their smartphones, their iPhones, their Android devices, and you want to make sure that if they get to your website from a smartphone, that they're getting a page that actually loads correctly and something that's easy for them to get the information that they need. People are in a different mind frame when they're browsing the internet from a smartphone than they are when they're browsing the internet from a desktop. They're not trying to read a lot of information. They're not really trying to do much more than get to your page and call you. So have a click to call button. On this example I've got up on the screen, it says call us. And when you hit that button, it will actually just dial the number so they don't have to rekey anything into their phone. Major benefit, significantly improves conversion. We found that the click to call ratio on a mobile phone is almost 3 times higher than the click to call ratio on a standard web page. So it's really essential that you have a mobile optimized version of your website as a contractor or home services business. So now that you've got the website set up correctly, you've figured out what pages you want to have on your website for each one of the different services that you offer, you need to start to think about how to optimize the website. How can you set your website and the pages on your website up so that Google ranks you? And that's what search engine optimization is. It's optimizing your website so that you can rank on Google in the organic, non-paid listings for the keywords that your customers are searching for when they need your services. And so there's some specific things that you can do for the pages on your website to make sure that they rank better. The first thing is have a unique title tag on each of the pages of your website. Have an H1 tag that restates the keyword for that page. Use your keywords in the images. Use the keywords in the URL structure. And submit a sitemap to Google and Bing via their webmaster tools so that they understand what pages you have on your website. So let me dive into this in a little bit more depth and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So what's a title tag? A title tag is that bar along the top of your browser that's got some information in it. And the title tag is probably the number one thing that Google looks at to determine what a page on the internet is all about. And so you want to make sure that you have your keywords in the title tag, on your home page, and on the service pages and the city pages that you add to your website. And so a typical website, if we just use a plumber as an example, typically the home page is leveraging just the company name. So the title tag on the home page might just be Joe's Plumbing or Joe's Plumbing Service. And that's a miss, because when someone's looking for your services, they probably don't know who you are. And if they do, they're gonna go straight to your website. Now, what they are searching for is your service in your city or your service plus city. So you want to make sure that the homepage targets that main keyword. And so you want to put that keyword in the title tag as far to the left as possible. So if you're a plumber, you probably want to use Orlando Plumber and then your company name and then some other keyword that's important to you. And you want to do that on the home page of your website. Now, if this was the only thing that you did as a result of this video, you went back to your home page on your website, you looked at what that title tag said, and you changed it to read your main keyword plus your company name, you'd find a major boost in your ranking for that specific keyword. So if you did nothing else from this, take that one nugget, implement it, and it will be worth its weight in gold. Now, if you really want to do this correctly and you want to maximize the potential for your organization, you need to update the title tags in the same way on each of the pages of your website. So not just your home page. Again, if you're the plumber and you're building out pages for each one of your services, you want the emergency plumbing page to say Orlando Emergency Plumbing, 24-hour emergency service in Orlando, Florida. If your water heater page, you want that title tag to say Orlando Water Heater Repair Services in Orlando, Florida. The drain cleaning page, Orlando Drain Cleaning Services in Orlando, Florida. So the idea is you can integrate your keywords into the title tag and then into the H1 tag on your website, and then of course write great content that's 100% unique, that talks about that specific service and the benefits of those services for your customers. If those are the only things that you do, update your title tag, update your H1 tag, have great content on the page that's not spammy but speaks specifically to that individual service, you're going to see a major boost in where you rank on the search engines. Now, SEO, search engine optimization, there's hundreds of things that you can do. I want you to spend your time focusing on the 20% of the activities that are going to drive 80% of the results for you. So if you look at the Pareto principle, 80-20, 80%, 20% of the effort drives 80% of the results. Focus on those things. Those are the 20%. The title tag, the H1 tag, and the content on the page. That will significantly improve your probability for starting to rank for each of these different keywords that you're trying to optimize for. Now, of course, that's going to put you in search for them. There's another step beyond that. That's link building, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So let's look at how this starts to play out in the real world. Let's look at some real examples and case studies. And so a company that we worked with in Miami, Florida, Southwest Plumbing Services, when they started with us, they had a you build it type website. There's a website tonight through GoDaddy, and the owner, Tom Watson, had invested his own time and his own energy to become an internet aficionado, and he bought the domain southwestplumbingservices.com, and he set up his website tonight, and he built out all of these pages, or he put the content on the pages the way he thought it should be done, and he wound up a little bit frustrated because he had this website that he spent all this time building that didn't rank for anything. He was a plumber in the Miami market, and it was just frustrating for him. He was like, man, what do I need to do in order to get this website so that it can start to rank for some of the keywords that I want it to rank for? And so we started working with him. We implemented these strategies in the way that I'm breaking them down for you. We set up pages for each one of his services. We made sure the title tag was strong with that keyword in it. The H1 tag was there. The content was unique and relevant to that specific term. And this is what happened for Tom. He says, I now have prominent placement for the keywords that are most important to me. Miami commercial plumber, Miami commercial plumbing contractor, Miami plumber in Miami, Miami tankless water heater, Miami water heater installation, Miami gas contractor, Miami gas line installation, and many others. And I want to emphasize, Miami is one of the most competitive markets in the United States. So if you're in a smaller market, or even if you're in a big market, you can feel confident that these strategies will work, and then you can start to see your company ranking for these types of keywords. So here's just some visual illustration. Here's a Google search. We type in Miami plumber, and you can see that #1 listing there in spot A is Southwest Plumbing Services. And so that's his homepage. You can see that title tag, which shows up, it says Miami plumber as opposed to Southwest Plumbing Services. Miami plumbing there, spot A on the map. Now, here's where I want you to start to see how you can diversify the number of keywords that you rank for by adding subpages to your website. And so this search is for Miami water heater repair, and you'll see the arrows pointing to Southwest Plumbing Services / water heater repair. Now, what I want you to see is that this specific page on his website is what's ranking. It's not his homepage. It's the page on his website that has the title tag Miami water heater repair, the H1 tag Miami water heater repair, and talks about what to do when you need water heater repair in the Miami area. And that's why you build these sub pages that target very specific keywords. Here's a search for Miami gas line repair. You can see the arrows pointing to the number 2 listing. Again, this is a page with the right title tag, H1 tag, and content specifically talking about gas line repair in the Miami market. Miami boiler repair, number 1 listing, and the spot A listing. Now, those were all service specific searches. Now let's look at some city specific searches. If you're in Miami, you know that in and around the Miami area is Kendall, Palmetto Bay, Pinecrest, Doral, Miami Beach. And of course, being a plumbing company that serves a 25 to 50 mile radius, he wanted to make sure that his website was ranking for these sub-cities as well. So Palmetto Bay Plumber, you can see the arrows pointing to the number 3 listing on page 1. Strategy here the same. Palmetto Bay Plumber in the title tag, Palmetto Bay Plumber in the H1 tag. Content unique to that city, not the same as the Kendall page or the Miami page, but very unique content talking about what you need to do in the event that you need plumbing services in that Palmetto Bay area. Is this making sense? Are you starting to see how these strategies come together in a way that helps you rank for not just your main city, but for your sub-cities as well? Here's a search for Pinecrest Plumber, another one of these sub-cities. Again, H1 tag, title tag, unique content, spot 2 for Pinecrest Plumber. So now the next step is to optimize for the Google Maps. We talked about setting up the website correctly, making sure we got pages for each one of our services. We've optimized those pages so that Google knows what they should be ranked for. Let's talk about getting ranked on the Google Map. This is one of the most common questions that I get from contractors all throughout the United States is, man, it seems like that Google Map is the place to be. It seems like that's where consumers are clicking and looking. That's certainly where I would click and look if I was in need of my services. How do I get ranked on the map when someone types in my city plus my service? And you know, there are really 3 core components to getting ranked on the Google Map. And if you do these 3 things correctly, if you do them thoroughly, if you do them well, you can and will start to rank predominantly on page 1 for your service in your market. So the 3 main things. First, you have to have a claimed and optimized Google Places listing and Google Plus local listing. Second, you have to have consistent, well-established citations of your company's name, address, and phone number across the web. And a citation is really just your name, address, and phone number in an online directory of some sort. And so there are literally hundreds of online directories, but the main ones are Angie's List and City Search and Hot Frog and Yahoo Local and Bing Local. And so if you get your company into these online directories with consistency of your name, address, and phone number, well then you've got more authority in Google's eyes, which is going to improve the probability of ranking on the Google Map. Now the third critical element, and probably one of the more overlooked elements, is online reviews. To rank well on the Google Map, we found the companies that have the most reviews, legitimate reviews from real people, tend to rank best. So you need to have a strategy where you're getting real reviews from your real customers in your real service area so that you have more reviews than your competition. And by having more reviews than your competition, more citations than your competition, having more properly optimized Google Map listing, now you've got more authority and the probability of ranking on the Google Map is significantly higher. So those are the three core elements to getting ranked on the Google map. So start by going to google.com/places, claiming your listing, updating it. I'm going to share some strategies on how to really update your Google map listing, how to make sure you've got your keywords in the right places, and make sure that you're not spamming in any way. Claim it, and you're on your way. So you do that at google.com/places. So here's just an example company that we work with in Brooklyn, New York. Again, a very competitive market. Again, a plumbing example. And the company we work with in Brooklyn is called Petrie Plumbing. And when they started with us, they had a website that was thousands and thousands of dollars to build. They had invested in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $4,000 a month for over a year with a high-priced SEO company that promised to get them on the Google map and promised to get them on Google page 1. And it just never happened. After months and months of shelling out the dollars and waiting, they started to grow frustrated because they were on page 2 and page 3 for their keywords, and they know that the majority of the clicks go to the top 3 listings on page 1. So we were able to come in and implement this strategy of properly claiming the Google map listing, getting the citations in order with consistency of the name, address, and phone number, and putting a proactive review management system in place. And here's what they experienced. They said, well, we now have page 1 spot A position on Google for our most important keyword, Brooklyn plumber. We're getting traffic and calls from customers typing in a variety of keywords. So here's some examples. We go in and we type in Brooklyn plumber. There they are on spot B on the Google map. We type in Brooklyn plumbing. There they are on spot A on the Google map. So I talked about once you've claimed the Google map listing, you have to develop citations. And so citations, again, are just web references of your company's name, address, and phone number. The key, though, is there has to be consistency. You can't just put yourself in all these different directories and use a different name or a different phone number across a variety of them. And you might think, well, that's kind of obvious, but this is one of the biggest issues that we're finding with companies that we deal with. We're finding that either they used a service like Yellow Pages or Yodel.com or ReachLocal, and all of these companies wanted to use call tracking numbers. And they went into various directories and they put this tracking number. And so on Angie's List, there's one number. On Yelp.com, there's another number. On Yellow Pages, there's a different number. And all of these numbers ring to the same place. It's not like they're lost leads, but it's creating a lack of consistency in how Google sees this company's name, address, and phone number. Your name, address, and phone number is almost like your thumbprint. It's unique to you, and Google recognizes you as an organization because the consistency of using that name, address, and phone number. So if you've got that inconsistency where your website says one thing and your Yellow Page listing says another and your Google Map listing says another, your probability of ranking is very, very slim. Now, what you want to do is identify, okay, what's my most authentic company name? And it's as granular as, are you Bill's Roofing or are you Bill's Roofing and Remodeling? And if it's Bill's Roofing and Remodeling, you want to make sure you reference it that way on your website and all of your online directories. And the phone number, use your most authentic number. Don't try and use a tracking number when it comes to these online directory listings. Whatever your primary phone number is, the one that's got the most history behind it, decide that's the one you're going to use. And that's your name, address, phone number profile, and then systematically go into each one of the major online directory sites. And you can find a list with this video, but you want to go into Bing, and you want to go into Yahoo Local, and you want to go into Yellow Pages, and you want to go to local.com, and you want to go to Angie's List, and you want to go to Judy's Book, and you want to go to yellowbot.com, and you want to go to Hot Frog, And in each one of these directories, you want to make sure that you've got that name, address, and phone number, because that's how you start to develop your authority, because Google's seeing consistent references of your company's name, address, and phone number across the web. Now, one of the companies we work with in Naperville, Illinois, was having an issue where he had a lot of directories where his company was listed. And he had a good website with all of the right pages and all the right content, but he just could not rank on the Google map. And it was frustrating for him because he'd done all of the work. He felt like he'd done everything right. And as we start to take a deep dive into his online directories and see what the issue was, we found there was a lack of consistency. Exactly what I was talking about, where this company was referenced one way on Angie's List and a different way on Yellow Pages and a different way on some other review site. And so we went in and we had to roll up our sleeves and go into each one of these directories one by one until we had very concise consistency across the web. And after a few months, we saw him shoot straight to spot A on the Google map. And so if we type in Naperville Plumber, there you'll see right there in spot A is Jim Wagner Plumbing. And if we type in Naperville Plumbing, spot A on the Google map. So having the consistency of your name, address, and phone number is a very key element to getting ranked on the Google map listings. Now, the third element, again, is online reviews. You have to have real reviews from your real customers in your true service area. And the best way to get these reviews is to have a systematic process where you're asking and getting them from your real customers. So I want to place some heavy emphasis here. You don't want to try and game this review process. Don't think that you can set up a Google profile for 5 different people and go in and use that Google profile to write your reviews, or set up a bogus Yelp.com account and a bogus CitySearch.com account and say great things about your company, or have your friends create fake accounts to say great things about your company. That won't work. Google's looking at the reviewer profile and can tell whether the person is a legitimate customer or the legitimate user of their system writing that review based on the history of that specific profile. So you don't want to game the system. That will hurt you more than it will help you. But there are some ways and some things you can do to really ensure this process of getting real reviews from your real customers in your true service area. So I like to take a 3-prong approach. The first thing is print up some review cards. Just a business card sized document that says, hey, thanks so much for your business. We'd really love it if you'd write us a review. And have a page on your website, yourcompany.com/review us, where they can go that has direct links to your review sites. And don't choose hundreds of them, but just pick the main ones: Google, Angie's List, Yelp.com, YP.com. That way the user can get there, determine which review profile they have a legitimate account on, click the link, and write that review for you. And so start to make it a process where after each service call, your technicians are handing out that review card, thanking the customer for their business, and asking them to go ahead and write a review for you online. The other thing you want to do in order to just get a bump right off the start of reviews that you have online is to develop a list of your circle of influence. And so that circle of influence would be your most recent customers, your family members, maybe your friends, people that know, like, and trust you and that you know, like, and trust. Put together a little email that can go out to each one of these, and you can put it in the system like Constant Contact or MailChimp, and just have a brief message that says, hey, we appreciate your loyalty over the years and would really like it if you take a couple minutes to write us a review. And then give them that link to that page on your website where you've got those different review icons where they can choose where they want to write the review, and send that out. Now, you might be surprised how many of your friends and family are willing to spend a few minutes to do you a favor, leveraging their real authentic profile in your service area to get some good quality reviews. Now, hopefully they've done business with you as a friend or a family member, and they're writing something positive about you as a legitimate customer of your services. Now, those 2 strategies are great, and you definitely want to do them, but the number one thing you want to do to get reviews is have a systematic process where you're sending an email to every one of your new customers after the service, just thanking them for their business, asking them to take a few minutes to write your review. If you put a process like that in place where you're systematically sending some type of message via email so that they can just click a link and follow the process, you're going to see the number of reviews that you have online on the public profiles skyrocket. And those reviews are going to give you the necessary authority to rank really well in your market. So another example of really seeing this play out and seeing a company that wasn't ranking on the Google map shoot to a prominent position on the map was the plumbing doctor in Falls Church, Virginia. And with them, they'd been with the Yellow Pages or Yellow Book, had the Yellow Book build their website and do some stuff for them, and just felt like they hit a roadblock. They weren't ranking in the search engines. They certainly weren't ranking on the Google map, and they were frustrated. We found that the critical element for them was reviews. And so, now if we type in Falls Church Plumber, you'll see them right there in spot A on the Google map. Falls Church Plumbing, you'll see them right there on A on the Google map. But what I really want you to see is the number of reviews. You can see there they've got 39 authentic reviews on the Google map. And this was a function of having that process where they're sending the email after service, customers are able to get to the Google map listing, write a review, and they shot to the top position as a result of those reviews. So reviews are critical for ranking well in the map listings on Google. So now we've built the website correctly, right? We've got all of the right pages with the right on-page optimization, good content. We've claimed our map listing and put a really strong strategy in place for getting reviews and for developing our citations. Now what we want to do is build further authority for our website, for our domain, so we can rank better in the organic listings. Because really, once the pages on your website are set up and they're optimized correctly, the critical missing element that's going to determine whether you're on page 1 or page 3 is the authority of your website. And authority, again, is driven by the number of links, the number of citations, and the number of reviews. So you want to put a process in place to get more authority links from other websites back to your website. Because ultimately, he who has the most quality links wins. And I say quality because in the last 6 to 9 months, Google's really changed their algorithm. The algorithm being the formula that they use to determine who's on page 1 versus page 3 versus page 6. And it used to be just about links. Google was built on the notion that he who has the most links is the most authoritative and ultimately should be ranked highest. Well, over the years, people have become very familiar with that concept. And a lot of companies just went out and got links for the sake of getting links because they knew that was going to drive their rankings. So Google changed their algorithm to say, well, if you've just got links that are completely irrelevant, have nothing to do with your company, on a website that really adds no value to the internet, then you must be spamming the system. And if you're spamming the system, we don't want you to rank well in the search engines. So you have to be real careful to make sure the links that you have back to your website are relevant links, are from websites that have something to do with your area, something to do with your industry, or something to do with your services. And so how can you get these links? How can you make sure that you've got quality links that are going to build your authority and help to make sure your company is ranking well? Well, I wanted to pull up a screen. That's just what I call your circle of low-hanging fruit. And low-hanging fruit being the links that you can get that are going to make an impact, but are also relatively easy to get. And so the first links are your online directory listings. And as part of trying to get ranked better on the Google map, you have to develop your citations, which is getting your name, address, and phone number referenced on all the major online directories. Well, as part of that process, you should be adding a link back to your website on those online directories. And so when you go to Yelp and City Search and Judy's Book and Best of the Web and Hot Frog and all of those online directories, you can put your name, address, phone number, description of your company, and a link back to your website. Those links, in a lot of cases, derive authority which are going to help you rank better and have that authority. The second thing you want to do is you want to look at the associations that you're involved in. If you're a plumber, it might be PHCC and QSC. If you're a HVAC company, it might be ACCA. If you're a roofing company, maybe it's the Roofing Association. But look at the associations that you're involved in, because most of them have online websites where they list their members. And those online sites give you the ability to add your company name, address, and phone number, a solid citation, and a link that's referencing your company's website. That link, of course, builds authority. So spend some time, figure out what associations you're involved in, look at their websites, and identify what you need to do in order to get your company a link from that website. From there, you want to look at allied partners. And so allied partners might be if you're a roofing company and you happen to know a plumbing business that's a friend of yours or a colleague of yours or somebody that you refer business back and forth with, they probably have a website. You definitely have a website. And so there's no reason that you couldn't get a link from their website back to your website and vice versa. And this isn't really what I consider to be a link exchange, which is a spammy tactic, because you're allied industries and you're right there in the same exact area. And so this strategy is completely above board. Look at the places where you buy product. So maybe you're a dealer for one of the major manufacturers. Maybe you buy your supplies from a local supply house. A lot of these companies will reference their dealers. And so they have authoritative websites that reference the dealers in certain markets. You can go to those websites and get links pointed back to your website. And I really just want to give you some very specific, actionable strategies for getting these links that are going to build your authority, that are going to make your contracting website rank better for the keywords that you specifically targeted in your SEO on-page optimization process. So some other links that you can get. Social media profiles. I'm going to talk more about social media and how you can leverage social media, but for the purposes of link building, if you go out and set up a Facebook page and a Twitter account and a LinkedIn profile and a YouTube channel and all of these other potential social media sites, they all give the ability to put in your company's name, address, phone number, and of course a link back to your website. These are powerful links that will drive more authority for you as an organization. Now, the other thing you can do with links within social media is on a weekly basis, you can put up an update, right? What to do in the event of a roofing emergency, and then link that back to your website. Now, you don't just have one link, you can start to get a series of links from these social media profiles. And you can link deeper in your website. So you're not just linking to the home page. In this case, now you're linking to the emergency page, or you're starting to build the authority to the deeper pages on your website. From there, you also want to look at the local groups that you're involved in. Maybe you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe you're active in some networking group like BNI or some other business card exchange. Most of the time, these organizations have websites that reference their members. Again, go to these websites, make sure that you've got a link to your website from their websites. And then, of course, you want to have a blog. And I'm going to talk a lot about content creation and the notion that content is king on the search engines, but you want to have a blog where you can house the content that you can create and build links back to your website via that. Is this helpful? I mean, does this really help to bring it together for you, having this circle of links that really show you, okay, these are the specific places I know that I can go out and get links back to my website? Absolutely. So let me share a ninja strategy for building links. So we talked about the low-hanging fruit, which are these, but what about the other links? There's got to be other websites online that you can get links from that are going to build your authority. And so a ninja strategy is to do competitive link acquisition. And competitive link acquisition is just the process of looking at your top competitors and getting their links that they have pointed back to your website. Now, there's nothing unethical about this. It's certainly not stealing, because you're going to have to work pretty hard to get those links. But there's a very specific way that you can do this. So how do you get links and how can you look at what your competitors have going on? Well, there are tools that you can use like raventools.com or SEO Book or Majestic SEO, which give you the ability to type in your competitor. So who's your competitor? Go to the search engine, run a search for your city plus your service, right? Inevitably, there's a page of guys ranked on page 1, right? And all those guys on page 1 are competitors for that specific keyword. And you can take their URL, competitor number 1, and plug it into raventools.com or plug it into Majestic SEO, and it will spit out a list of all of their links. And so your number 1 competitor is outranking you, is in that position because he's got right on page optimization, he's got good content, and he's got more authority in terms of link citations and reviews. So this report will tell you what links he has, what citations he has. And you can say, okay, he's got 295 links and citations. Which of these does he have that I don't? And find the ones that he has that you don't and get those same or similar links pointed back to your website. So you can look at this report and see, okay, well, here he's got a link from a directory that I'm not in. He's got a link from a newspaper in my local area that I don't have. He's got a link from a chamber of commerce that I'm in, but I don't have a link from. And then you can go to those websites and do what's necessary, whether it's creating a piece of content via article or video, sending an email, doing a web submission, and getting your site linked to from that specific domain. And as you start to do that on a consistent basis, your authority is going to be significantly greater, which is what's going to make you rank so well in the search engines. So the other critical element of SEO is content creation. The fact is, on the internet, content is king. So you have to be creating relevant content on a consistent basis relative to what you do. I talked about the fact that you must have a blog on your website where you can store all of your content. And a lot of times when I get to this portion in the video, in the conversation, the contractor says, man, I don't create content. I'm not a content creator. I don't like to write. But the reality is you are a subject matter. If you're a roofer, you know information about roofing. If you're a landscaper, you know information about landscaping. If you're a painter, you have information about painting that the average consumer simply does not have and does not know. So maybe you're dealing with a curse of knowledge where you feel everybody knows this information, but they necessarily don't. So take your knowledge, your expertise, and create content about that specific topic. And so maybe the painting contractor, you know that the best way to remove wallpaper is to, cover it with water and then use a special razor blade to remove that. That's content. And what I said probably isn't even true, but you know the right way to do it. So there's a lot of different types of content you can create. You don't have to write. Different people operate better under different modalities. Some people are very good writers, some people are great speakers, and some people are just really good on video. So try and find a modality that's most comfortable for you. Maybe it's video. Set up a video camera and just record yourself explaining that specific topic just like you would to a customer or just like you would to a family member. And now you've got a piece of content that you can syndicate to your website, to your social media profiles, to be the content authority in your market. So now we're getting to the social media portion of the conversation, right? So we've set up our website, we've created pages for each one of our services, we've got proper on-page optimization with great content, we've claimed our Google Map listing and we've optimized it, we've put a review acquisition strategy in place, we've made sure that we're on all the major online directory listings, we've put some strategies in place where we're creating good content and we're driving inbound links to our website. And over time, that piece of the equation is going to make us rank very well on Google, on page 1, for the keywords that are most important to us. And so where do we go from here with our internet marketing plan? What's the next step? And for me, I really feel like it is social media. Getting active on the social media profiles, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, And I want to explain why. Because as I talk to contractors and I talk about social media, I start to get puzzled faces. I say, I understand that Facebook is really hot right now. I understand there's lots of people using social media, but I really don't get how this applies to me or my business. How's this going to help me get more contracts? How's this going to help me get my phone ringing more? How's this going to result in anything that impacts my bottom line? And the way I like to explain it is, right now, if you had to look at your books and just kind of identify where most of your business comes from, you're probably going to come to the conclusion that most of your business comes from repeat and referral business. Your past customers using you again, and your existing customers referring you to their friends and family. Am I right? Well, social media gives you the ability to tap into that repeat and referral business, inject it with steroids, and take it to a whole nother level. Now, why do I say that? Well, the facts are that the average Facebook user has 135 friends. They're checking into Facebook between 1 and 6 times per day. So if you can put a strategy in place to get your real customer in your real service area that you've done business with to go to Facebook and press the like button on Facebook, now you've got 2 major opportunities. The first opportunity, I said they have 135 friends typically in their general sphere of influence. Well, by virtue of them pressing like, they've exposed you to those 135 friends. It's almost as if they took out a little notepad and they wrote a note, hey, I had this great experience with a roofing company in our area. The next time you need a roofer, I highly recommend Bob Jones Roofing. And they sent it out to all of those friends that they have in their circle of influence. Do you see how that potentially could result in more referral type business? The other powerful thing it does is they've now given you an opportunity to remain top of mind with them. Remember, the average Facebook user is checking in between 1 and 6 times per day. So every time they check into Facebook, as long as you're putting out relevant information on a consistent basis, they're going to see your company. They're going to see your recent projects. They're going to see your tips. And that's going to make them remain top of mind. And by remaining top of mind, now they're going to remember you for the next time they need that service. They're going to remember you when their friend says, hey, do you know a good landscape guy in our area? So if you think about social media in that lens, the fact that it has a major opportunity to help you connect with your customers on a deeper level and get more repeat and referral business, which should be the foundation, the lifeblood of your company, then you can start to understand that social media is essential. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have. So what should you be doing? Where should you be active? And we know that there are literally hundreds of social media profiles. I'm going to suggest that you have the main social media profiles. A Facebook business page. So on Facebook, obviously you can set up a personal page where you have your pictures and you post your stuff. You want to set up a business page specifically for your business. You want to set up a Twitter profile for your business, a LinkedIn company page. Again, you're going to have your personal entity. You want to have a company entity as well. A YouTube channel. YouTube channel where you can put videos about your services, answering commonly asked questions. Social media touches YouTube. A lot of people say, hey, social media, Facebook, YouTube is not a social media platform, but it actually is because people can like you, they can subscribe to you, and they can get your updates. You have to be on Google+. Google+ is the social media platform that Google has built, and it's extremely powerful. It's tied into your Google Map listing. You have the ability to post updates and build a circle of influence. You definitely need to be on Google+, and you need to have a blog. The blog should really be the place where you store all your content. And when you post to your blog, it can hit all of your social media profiles. So these are the areas that you should be engaged in as a contractor from a social media perspective, at a minimum. So how do you do it? Where do you start to leverage social media? What's the plan? Well, again, the only way social media adds any value is if you have your real customers in your real service area engaged with you. So the first thing you need to do is you need to have a process to get your real customers to press the like button, to press the subscribe button, to press the follow button on your social media profiles. And so I recommend developing an email with a list of your customers, a list of your family, a list of your friends, and get their email addresses in there and send an email out, just letting them know, hey, listen, we're active on these social media profiles and would love to have you engage with us. Maybe offer them some type of incentive and get that sphere of influence to start to subscribe and start to like your various social media platforms. From there, you have to be consistent with updates. You definitely want to be posting at least on a weekly basis. I really recommend on a daily basis, at least 5 days a week, with updates. Now, this should not be all sales information. You don't want to be putting out coupons. You don't want to be putting out, hey, call me next time you need this. You want to be putting out information that's relevant and useful. So don't blast it with sales messaging. Just put relevant information. Hey, here's a tip on what to do in the event of a plumbing emergency. Hey, here's a picture of one of our most recent projects. Hey, have a great 4th of July. These types of things. And then engage. You have to engage in social media. If you have 1,000 of your real customers that press that like button and all you're doing is putting out content without engaging, you're going to seem like you're using social media as a megaphone, just where you're blasting out messaging. And it's a social platform. So as people like your stuff, or they post comments about you, or they say, hey, that's really funny, you need to engage back in that conversation. Say, hey, thanks so much for the like, or hey, I really appreciate your feedback. Hey guys, what would you like me to share? Just engage in the real conversations, and that's how you can really leverage social media, again, to get more repeat and referral business, which should be the lifeblood of your contracting and home services business. So the next step as we move through our online marketing plan is now to start to explore paid online marketing opportunities. So we've got the website set up right, we're ranking well in the organic listings, we've got great content, we're putting out information on a consistent basis, we're ranking well in the Google map because we've got citations and we've put review acquisition strategies in place. We're leveraging email and social media marketing to connect with our customers on a deeper level, and our business is at a whole different level. And so we have additional financial resources that we can invest to try and take things even to that next level. And so this is where I think you want to start to look at those paid online marketing opportunities. And so where should you start? What paid online opportunities should you be exploring? Well, first, you definitely want to be active in the pay-per-click campaigns. So Google AdWords, Bing search, Yahoo search, set up pay-per-click campaigns. And I'm going to talk specifically about how to do that. Get active in some of the paid online directory listings. And the most powerful of these is Angie's List. But you've also got YP.com and Yelp.com, and there are a lot of other online directories. But these are places where consumers aggregate and where a lot of them do look outside of Google when they're looking for your services. And so the cost for this could range somewhere from $250 to $500 per month and up. But as long as you're getting return on investment, this could be a sound play. The other paid online advertising opportunity to explore is pay-per-lead services. Things like Home Advisor, eLocal Plumber, Contractors Nearby. There's a lot of these services where you can pay on a per-lead basis. Now, what I want to emphasize again, though, you want to be looking at these paid online advertising opportunities once you've got your foundation strong. You've got your website set up right, you're ranking well organically, you've got social media and email marketing being leveraged in a strategic way. That's when you start to say, okay, let's start to implement some of these paid online advertising strategies. So as we look at pay-per-click advertising, I start to talk about PPC. I hear a lot of negative feedback. I hear a lot of people say, I tried pay-per-click and I spent thousands of dollars and got virtually no return on investment. It was a major failure. And I want to start by explaining that pay-per-click can be extremely profitable, but it has to be set up correctly. So let's talk about some of the reasons why most pay-per-click campaigns fail. And there really are 3 key reasons. And I'm going to explain deeper as to why these reasons cause the failure. But first, you're setting up only one ad group for each of your services. You don't have specific text ads and landing pages for the groups of keywords, and there's not a strong call to action or offer on the landing page. Those three things happen all the time. And if you can reverse that and you can get these three correct and really understand how the pay-per-click system works, you can really give yourself a competitive advantage and get a much stronger return on investment. So first, you need to understand how the AdWords auction process works. You need to know that the highest bid doesn't necessarily get the top ranking. So a lot of people think, okay, AdWords, pay-per-click advertising is an auction process, and he who has the highest bid wins. So if the keyword is roofer, and I want to rank for the keyword roofer, then I need to bid $15 or $20 per click, because as I look at the other competitors, the top guy's bidding 30, the second guy's bidding 27, the next guy's bidding 25, and if I want to be in the top 5 listings, I need to bid somewhere between $25 and $30. But the reality is it's not the highest bid that necessarily wins. And the reason is Google has to serve the most relevant results. The best way to illustrate this is if BMW decided that they wanted to bid on the keyword Mercedes, they could say, okay, someone's looking for a luxury vehicle. I want to show up when someone's looking for Mercedes, so I'll spend $50 every time somebody types in the word Mercedes. But when a customer goes to Google and they're looking for Mercedes, they're probably not just looking for any luxury vehicle, they're looking specifically for Mercedes. And so Google has to say, okay, what's the most relevant result for this specific search? And despite the fact that Google's willing to spend, that BMW is willing to spend $50, $75, $100, nonetheless, Mercedes is the most relevant result. And Google knows if they want people to continue to come to their search engine and do millions and billions of searches every single month, they have to serve the most relevant results because people want to find what they're looking for. So Google had to set up a quality score. And the reality is quality score is what's going to drive your positioning and your cost per click. So how was quality score set up? Quality score is driven by your click-through rate, your relevancy, and the quality of your landing page. So click-through rate is you're bidding on the word roofer, and your text ad is talking about roofing services. If 100 people type that term and you show up in 100% of those results, so you have 100 views, and only one person clicks on your ad, you've got a very low click-through rate, which is going to negatively impact your quality score. Whereas if you have 100 searches that you show up in and 20 people click on you, that's a 20% click-through rate, which is improving your click-through rate. Google's making more for every single search, and they like that, and so you have a higher quality score. Relevancy. Relevancy is how relevant is your text ad to the very specific search that the person typed in. So maybe the person typed in drain cleaning. If your ad says, are you in need of drain cleaning services in the Dallas market, and then has your website address, that's pretty relevant. But if the person typed in drain cleaning and your text ad says, looking for a plumber, contact XYZ Plumbing, kind of relevant, but not nearly as relevant as that one that talked about that specific search. And then, of course, the quality of the landing page. That's where the people get to after they click on your text ad. So if we stick with a drain cleaning example, and they typed in drain cleaning, and they see a text ad that talks about drain cleaning, and they click it, and they wind up on your homepage. And your homepage is, we're the Blessed Plumbing Company in the Dallas area. Give us a call today. It doesn't mention anything about drain cleaning. Well, now the quality of your landing page gets dropped down a notch, as opposed to if you clicked on that same link and then landed on a page that said, hey, are you in need of drain cleaning services in the Dallas area? Contact XYZ Plumbing. And so Google has to have a mechanism to sort relevancy, and that's what this mechanism is. It's called your quality score. And this is a fancy equation that explains how quality score works and some of the different variables that come into play. But really what it's trying to tell us is if you have better quality score, you can have top positions while maintaining a lower cost per click. So if we look again at why most pay-per-click campaigns fail, it's because they have low relevancy, their text ads don't match up with the ad groups, and there's not a strong call to action on the landing page. And so a visual representation of this is, let's say you set up a pay-per-click campaign as a plumbing business, for example, and you did all of these different keywords: plumbing services, emergency plumbing, drain cleaning, repiping, right? Very specific things that people are looking for, and you drive them to your homepage. Your relevancy is going to be low. And as your relevancy is low, your quality score is going to be low. Your quality score is low, so you have to pay significantly higher on a per-click basis. And this is a recipe for failure. So how do you do it right? How do you maximize the ability to succeed in your pay-per-click campaign? Well, first, you set up ad groups based on this very specific groups of services that you provide. You write a very compelling text ad that is related to that specific set of keywords. And then you link your text ad to a very specific page on your website, not the home page, but to a specific landing page that has a strong call to action and offer. So just as an illustration here to get you, your creative juices thinking within your business on the different types of ad groups that you could and should set up, you want to break your services into groups. So general plumbing is a group of keywords. Emergency plumbing is a group of keywords. Drain cleaning would be a group of keywords. Think about the groups of words that go together. Then write a specific text ad for that specific group and drive them to a very specific landing page. And so this is what I call my ad group template. So list your keywords, write a text ad that talks about that specific set of keywords, set up a landing page that's specific for that set, and then have your landing page have messaging that talks about that specific issue. So as an example, your general plumbing, you'd want to have, plumber, plumbing service, plumbing contractor, your city plumber, your city plumbing, right? Those are your keywords which would go into your general plumbing group. Your text ad would say, affordable plumber, affordable Dallas plumber, get $50 off, save today, because that's relevant to the text, to the keywords someone typed in. Land them not on your homepage, but to yourcompany.com/city plumbing service that talks about those specific services, and then have content on that page that has a compelling call to action. So, contact the experts at this company, talk about why they would want to choose you, show them links to your reviews where they can get more authority and more information about who you are, why they want to choose you, and a special offer that drives them into action. And if you do this, you're going to improve your quality score, and you're going to improve your click-to-call ratio. So of the people that do click on you and do get to your page, a higher percentage of them are going to pick up the phone and call your company. And this is the recipe for success in your pay-per-click marketing campaign. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you put the mechanisms in place to track, measure, and quantify. Because it's all about return on investment. None of the online marketing tactics that you might implement, SEO, social media, pay-per-click advertising, pay-per-lead services, you're not doing that for the fun of it. You're doing it because you want to drive profitable revenues into your business. And so you have to have mechanisms in place to make sure that you're spending $1 and you're getting $3 in return. Because after your costs and everything else, you have to have profitability. So what tracking mechanisms can you put in place? Well, there are a number of tools, but I'm going to recommend 4 key tracking mechanisms that will help you track, measure, and quantify your return on investment. The first thing you want to do is you want to watch your traffic trends. And so the easiest tool to use for this is Google Analytics. And you set that up with google.com/analytics. And that will tell you how many people got to your website, what they typed in to get there, how long they stayed. But the key thing you want to look at on a monthly basis or a weekly basis is the number of people getting to my website increasing? if my online marketing strategy is working and I'm ranking for more keywords that people are typing in, then I should be getting more visitors to my website. The second thing you want to put in place is keyword tracking. And so keyword tracking, we talked about figuring out what keywords people type in when they're looking for what you do, and then optimizing your website so that you can rank for those keywords. Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can go to Google and you can type in those keywords every week and be like, okay, do I rank? Oh, wait, I'm on page 3. Oh, I'm page 4. Oh, I'm on page 1. But it doesn't really help you visualize and easily see where you're ranking. There are tools like brightlocal.com, like Raven Tools, where you can put in your list of keywords and set up a report to go out on a weekly basis or a monthly basis that will come to you via email and tell you, okay, for each of your keywords, this is where you rank on Google and Yahoo and Bing. And you can clearly see you move from position 17 to position 12 to position 5 to position 2 and see where you rank on Google and Yahoo and Bing for each of these keywords without wasting a lot of time running searches for yourself. You definitely want to have keyword tracking in place so that you can keep a pulse on how you're moving up. If you're getting the right links, if you're putting out relevant content, if you have a review acquisition process in place, if you've got your citations in order, then your rankings for these keywords are going to improve. The other tracking mechanism I want to recommend is call tracking. And call tracking is just putting a phone number that's unique to your online marketing strategy on your website, having that number through CallFire or Century Interactive. There's a number of call services that you can use, and it's just a unique number that rings to your office that gives you the ability to gauge, okay, I spent this amount of time and this amount of cost to get my company ranking well, but the net of it is how many calls came in, how many of those calls turned into service leads and revenues. So having that call tracking gives you the ability to run a report and say, okay, we got 22 calls in May, we got 36 calls in June, and we got 77 calls in July. That's a good trend. And then a lot of these give you the ability to hear recordings of those conversations. So you can quantify, okay, well, if we got 77 calls, how many of them turned into leads? And how many of those leads turned into sales? So you want to have some type of call tracking so you can truly gauge how many calls are coming in. Now, the best thing that you can do to really track down to the dollar what your return on investment is putting a CRM, a customer relationship management system in place. And customer relationship management system is just a database that has each one of your leads, each one of your customers, the dollar amount billed to each one of these customers, and you can track a lead source. So you might be able to say, where did you find us? Oh, okay, you found us on the Yellow Pages. Boom. We got 17 leads from the Yellow Pages. Oh, you found us on Google. Okay, we got 15 leads from the internet. And then you can start to know those leads turn into this much revenue and have a very concise understanding of what your true return on investment is, so that all this internet marketing that you're doing is driving you to more profitability in your business. Because it's very easy to spend the money and not get a return. And then, of course, the bonus here, you want to get ready for your phone to ring. One of the customers we work with in the Tampa area is the Clean Plumbers. We were able to get their online marketing strategy in place. We really leveraged this entire process, setting up their website, building pages for each one of their services, doing the link building, the citation development, putting a review automation system in place, leveraging social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. And here's what Phil Marisi from the Clean Plumber said. He says, prior to working with Contractor SEO, we were only getting a few calls via the internet. In September of this year, we tracked 147 inbound calls directly via the internet. And of course, that's because we've got those tracking mechanisms in place. We know this month he had 7 calls, this month he had 50 calls, and this month he had 147 calls. And I actually ran one of these reports for Phil Marisi just the other day, looking at his latest numbers, and he averages over 300 calls every single month directly via the web. So when you do this right, when you leverage all of these strategies, you can really expect your phone to start to ring more. And here's Troy Winkle, the Honest Plumber out of Las Vegas. He says, I'm averaging 178 calls per month directly via the internet so far this year. So again, just to recap, this is your contractor internet marketing plan. All of the things you want to put in place to make sure you're maximizing the potential of the internet for your contracting or home service business. Make sure you get your website set up for SEO and conversion. So have pages for each one of your services, have pages for each one of the subsidies that you operate in, and build the on-page optimization with the title tags, H1 tags, unique content, and then make sure that there's strong conversion elements. Give them the reviews and the testimonials. Have a phone number in the top right-hand corner. Have a web submission form where they can easily contact you directly via the internet. Make sure that you have your mobile site ready. So make sure that when they get to your website from an iPhone or an Android phone, that they're going to get to the information that they need in a format that fits within the constraints of their mobile device. Get active with the SEO process. That's developing content via video, via text, via audio. Building inbound links. I shared some very specific strategies and tactics on where you can get links from various sources online. Start to do that process and build those inbound links. Optimize your website for the Google map. So optimize your online presence by claiming your Google map listing at google.com/places, setting up your Google Plus local profile and merging the two. Really get proactive with citation development, getting your company listed with consistency of your name, address, and phone number on all of the main directories, Angie's List and City Search and Yelp and Judy's Book and Bing Local. And put a process in place where you can get real reviews from your real customers in your true service area. Get active with social media. Leverage Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn to connect with your customers on a deeper level and get more repeat and referral business. Make sure you're leveraging email marketing. Get the name and email address of each one of your customers. Send messages on a consistent basis via email. It's a very low cost to remain top of mind and to really engage with your customers. Pull them into your social media profiles. Pull them out to your online directories to get reviews. You can leverage email in a very effective way. And then start to consider the paid online marketing channels that are available to you. Again, start with the foundation. Get those top 6 elements in place and then start to look at pay-per-click advertising. As you look at pay-per-click, make sure you're strategic. Set up ad groups for each one of your services with very specific text ads and landing pages that speak to that specific group of keywords and have a strong call to action that will help you maximize the profitability of any pay-per-click campaign that you might run. Look at the paid online directory services. Angie's List, Yelp, City Search. These can drive strong return on investment if you've got a good reputation on these profiles. Potentially look at some of the pay-per-lead services like Home Advisor and Contractors Nearby, and make sure that you have the right tracking mechanisms in place to gauge your true return on investment. Put the call tracking in place, put the keyword tracking in place, and make sure that you can gauge for every dollar what your true return on investment for that is. And if you have this plan and you harness it correctly, you'll be well on your way to dominating the search engines in your area, getting more business via the internet, and really taking your contracting business to a whole nother level. So where can you go from here? You've got a lot of information. You've got a very concise plan that you can take and implement to get the best return on investment possible. But there's really 3 things you can do from here. The first is do nothing, and that would probably be the worst possible scenario. And if you've listened to this entire presentation and you've gotten to the end here, an hour and 30 minutes in, I don't think you're the kind of person that's going to do nothing. The next option is to learn to do it on your own. So you might say, all right, I've got some great information here. I've gone through a lot of this material. I understand what needs to be done, but there's little questions and there's little things that I need help figuring out how to do. Or you can hire an expert. You can say, hey, you know what, this is great. Now I understand what needs to be done. I understand the components that need to be done correctly. Now I just need to find somebody that can implement this, that can really run with it for me on my behalf. And I want to let you know that we can help you here at Contractor SEO with either of these 2 ideas. Whether you want to learn to do it on your own and really become the expert and implement these strategies in your business, or you want to hire experts, we can help you take this to the next level within your contracting business. We developed the Online Dominance Blueprint, which is our training program that goes deep into each one of these areas that will help you dominate the search engines in your area, increase your inbound calls, get more repeat and referral business, and more profits and success in your contracting business. And this is video-based training, either on DVDs or on our web-based platform that go deep into each one of these. And it's a 7-module program that goes really deep into what you can be doing, how to make sure you've optimized your map listing correctly, how make sure you've done your SEO correct and you've got all the link building process in place, how you can leverage social media, how you can leverage pay-per-click advertising, and how you can really engage with the paid directories and pay-per-lead services. Now this course, if you go right now to our website and you kind of price this out, has a $997 value. I can tell you a couple hours of my service will cost you more than that. So it's definitely worth $997. And it's backed by 100% money back guarantee. So if you get the course, if you drill into the material and you're not 100% satisfied for any reason, we will refund the entire investment, and you really have nothing to lose in investing in this training program. Now, even if the program did sell for $997, if all it did was help you get page 1 placement for the most important plumbing related or contracting related services in your area, would it be worth that investment? Absolutely. Even if all it did was help you get 10, 20, 30 new customers every single month, wouldn't it be worth that investment? Well, since you've taken the time to listen to this course all the way through, I want to give you a very special discount. I'm not going to charge you $997. I'm not even going to charge you $597. If you take action right away, we can give you the Online Dominance Blueprint with all 7 modules, the DVDs, and the home study course for just $97. Nope, that's not missing a decimal point, just $97. So if you want to take me up on the Online Dominance Blueprint, you can go to contractorseo.net/blueprint and then enter the promo code on the order screen, ACTION, because this is a fast action discount. You have 24 hours to take advantage of this, and you can get the Online Dominance Blueprint for just $97. Now, you may be in a place where you say, I've done more learning than I anticipate I want to continue doing. I've sat through an hour and 40-minute presentation. I feel like I'm very well educated now on what I need to do, what my online marketing plan actually should be, that I need to set up my website, I need to get active as social, I need to set up Google Maps optimization strategy, but at this point, I need to find an expert that can do this for me. I want to find a company that's got proven experience, that understands these strategies and can implement them with precision in a way that it's going to generate return on investment. Well, we'd love to work with you. That's what we do here at Contractor SEO. Our core business is implementing these strategies. And the case studies and examples that I shared throughout the course of the presentation were of real customers of ours that we've been able to help move from literally no placement online to the point where they now dominate for their most important keywords, and the return on investment that they're getting and the growth that they're getting within their business is staggering. And so I want to warn you though, we only work with one specialty contractor in each city. So only one roofer in each city, only one plumber in each city, only one AC contractor in each city. And the reason we do it that way is because we feel like it'd be a conflict of interest to work with you in your market and then go to 3 or 4 of the guys right in your backyard and offer to do the same. So if you'd like to work with us, if you think it would be a benefit to have our team implement these strategies on your behalf, I'd love to talk with you. You can call me directly at 866-493-9910 and ask for me, and we can have a conversation about your business and see if it's a fit. Or you can go to contractorseo.net/apply. That's contractorseo.net/apply. There, enter your information, and we will get back to you right away and let you know if your area is available and talk about the next steps and the potential of us working together. So thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate the opportunity. I hope that you're able to take these ideas and techniques and implement them in your business and really grow your company to that next level.